Live from the altar with G. Who's here with me? We are live. Welcome, welcome. I already know. While you guys are settling, I'm pinning your comments. Same rules apply. Happy Sunday. Live from the altar with G. Who's here with me? Welcome, welcome. Come on in, say hey, get settled. All right, that's done. Hey, PP. Welcome back. Happy Sunday, y'all. So, what if I told you that one of the hardest things to discover about yourself is who you are when you're not busy? Now, I want you to really think about it, okay? Who are you when you're not working? Who are you when you're not taking care of anybody? When you're not fixing something? When you're not accomplishing anything? When nobody needs anything from you, when you aren't chasing the next goal. Because for some of us, being busy isn't just a lifestyle, it's an identity. And sometimes the hustle isn't actually about ambition. Sometimes it's about avoiding something, avoiding stillness, avoiding fear, avoiding feelings, avoiding the question, who am I if I'm not constantly doing something to prove my worth? And that's what we're going to get into today because last week we talked about the hustle mindset. And today we're going to go deeper with it, of course, because you already know. So, who are you without the hustle? Welcome back, my loves. Welcome if you're new to the sanctuary. It is Shadow Work Sunday. And of course, we're going to go deeper into things, right? Because that's what we do here. And yeah, I'm sharing the truth that Spirit has shown me and my own lived experiences with y'all in hopes that it will help someone out there. So, we're talking about productivity, achievement, identity, worthiness, control, rest, fear, all those places where the hustle can become more than something we just do. It can actually become something we believe we are. As always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, use your own discernment. You are your own best guide. Mm. And remember, this is spiritual and reflective work, shadow work. So, not medical or legal advice. So, we're not doing any of those questions because it's YouTube, y'all. Okay. So, before we get started, make sure if you're not subscribed, subscribe, hit the like button, double tap the screen, and make sure your notifications are on so you don't miss when I go live. Okay. All right. So, let's get into it. The hustle somehow became a flex. Okay. When we hear the word hustle, most people immediately think about work, money, business, career, side hustles, grinding, but hustle can show up everywhere, right? You can hustle for love, you can hustle for validation, attention, spiritual growth, healing, always trying to fix yourself, always trying to become better, always trying to manifest the next thing, always thinking I should be farther along, I should be doing more, I should be making more, I should have figured this out by now. And eventually, even spirituality can become another thing we're trying to perform correctly. And that's when I really want you to stop and ask, who am I trying to prove myself to? And why? Of course, we always want to ask the why behind it, right? And there's another piece of this conversation that I think we need to talk about as well. Because somewhere along the line, along the way, hustling stopped being something people did because they had to and became something society started glorifying. So let's really think about this. Think about the hustle culture, where it's predominant, what we see on social media, media in general, in shows. We're seeing people that literally have millions and are still talking about hustling, right? So, this hustle culture turned exhaustion into some sort of status symbol for our society. I'm busy. I only sleep for a few hours. I work 7 days a week. I have three businesses. I'm always grinding. I'm up at 4 a.m. Look how productive I am, right? And somehow we've gotten to a place where saying I'm exhausted can almost sound like you're announcing some sort of accomplishment. So we're going to talk about where this came from. Let me catch up real quick in the chat. Happy Sunday, PP. Hi, Nikki. Sheep. Love it, Nikki. Thank you, PP. Yes, definitely do. All right, so where did this programming come from, y'all? And feel free to comment along the way in the chat if you're watching live, or comments if you're watching the replay. So, where did this programming come from, you guys? Because I know what hustle meant to me growing up. I grew up in what many would consider the hood. Okay. Hustle was programmed into me at a very, very young age. It meant you work hard, you take care of yourself, you take care of your own, you don't depend on somebody else to save you. Confirmation for my fur baby. You become independent. You figure shit out. You make something happen. And I lived that. I very much lived that. I wasn't just talking about hustle because it sounded good on Instagram, because Instagram wasn't a thing, okay? I worked a full time 9 to 5. I was in school. I was raising a kid. I still had side hustles, okay? Because hustle was how you survived. But here's where it gets interesting. I wasn't doing all of that because I just loved being busy. Okay. I had a reason. I wanted out. I wanted out of the life that my parents lived. I wanted out of the environment I grew up in. I didn't want to become another statistic. I wanted something different for myself, for my child. So I hustled. Okay. And that hustle served me. Don't get me wrong. It got me places. It taught me discipline. It helped me become independent. It helped me build a life that looked different from the one I came from. Yes, it gave me all of those things. Okay. So I'm not sitting here telling you hustle is necessarily bad. Okay. That's not what I'm saying. So please don't misunderstand me there. The shadow comes in when the thing that helped you escape survival becomes the thing you don't know how to escape from. You never leave it. And that's the part that I want you to look at. Okay. Because eventually you have to ask yourself, am I still running towards something, or I'm just afraid to stop running? That's a very different question, isn't it? And another one, are you working to live, or are you living to work? And to what end? When does it stop? What is the destination? Because if the answer is once I make this much, once I get this promotion, once I build this business, once I have this house, once I finally have enough money, then what? What's supposed to happen after you arrive? Okay, you survived the thing, you arrived, you met your goals. Are you actually going to let yourself live in what you've created? Or is there always going to be another mountain for you to climb, another goal to accomplish, another milestone, another thing that you need, that you want, that you got to prove to somebody? Because if there's always another finish line, you can spend your entire life sprinting toward a life you never actually stop to experience. And that's what I mean when I say don't grind, align. Okay. We got Segment here with us today because she's all about shadow work. So sometimes the shadow isn't I work too much. It's I don't know how to feel valuable when I'm not producing. And that's very different Because if your identity is built around this achievement, rest feels uncomfortable. If your identity is built around being needed, boundaries feel selfish. And I've been there, you guys. If your identity is built around fixing everything, letting something unfold can feel like some sort of failure. If your identity is built around survival, then peace can feel unfamiliar. And that's where the shadow starts talking. Not judging yourself for it, but seeing it, being aware of it. Okay. Some people don't hustle because they're obsessed with achievement. They do it because they need to feel needed. They're the fixer, the rescuer, the person everybody calls on, the person who handles everything, the person who always says, I've got it. Don't worry about me. I'll take care of it. And underneath, that can be a very uncomfortable shadow. Because what happens when nobody needs you? Because sometimes being needed becomes a substitute for feeling worthy. And then you can accidentally build relationships where you're constantly giving because receiving feels so unfamiliar or so uncomfortable. You have to learn how to receive too. Another one is control, you guys. If I keep moving, planning, fixing, preparing, anticipating, accomplishing, then I don't have to sit inside this uncertainty. The hustle gives you something to do with your anxiety. And that can feel productive, but it's still avoidance. So really ask yourself, what am I afraid might happen if I stop controlling everything? And then we have rest, another one I mentioned. Some people genuinely don't know how to rest without feeling guilty. You finally sit down and you immediately think, I should be doing something. I should answer that email or that text message. I should clean this or that. I should work on this. I should be making money right now. I should be productive. But what if rest isn't something you have to earn? What if you're allowed to exist without producing something? It's a very uncomfortable question for a hustle conditioned person. And if this is hitting something for you, this is exactly why I created all of my shadow work tools, y'all. This is why I do what I do. I have resources available for different ways of doing this work. Everything from a very small ritual guide to my shadow work workbook, to my shadow work deck that I created. I have an entire course on shadow work. I even have a freaking coloring book slash workbook on shadow work. Okay. So if you're more the creative type and you process better that way, I have that too. You don't have to use all of them. You don't have to use any of them really. Choose the tool that fits the way you actually work, the way you want to work through your shadow work. And if you're not sure, again, you guys can email me. My email's in my bio here on YouTube, okay? They're there if you want to take what we're talking about today and actually sit with it instead of just hearing it during a live and moving on. So check my links if you want to explore those, okay? So today's big question is, who are you without the hustle? Not your job, not your business, not your relationship, your responsibilities, your accomplishments, your productivity, not what other people need from you. You. What remains? Who are you? What do you enjoy? What makes you curious? What makes you laugh? What do you want when nobody's watching? What would you create if it didn't need to make you any money? What would you do if nobody was applauding? Nobody was liking it. Nobody was commenting on it. What would you choose if you weren't trying to prove anything to anyone? And that's where I want you to look, because sometimes the shadow isn't something, that's terrible just hiding inside of us. Sometimes it's simply the part of ourselves we've neglected because we were too busy surviving. Okay, loves, I know that you want to get into cards, so we're going to do that too, okay? Now you can start. We are going to do the free yes no polls again with a little bit of a twist because, it's Shadow Work Sunday. But you can go ahead and start the queue if you'd like. If you haven't yet, I haven't looked into the chat in a minute. The rules and links are there pinned for you. Okay. So we are going to be pulling from the shadow deck for the collective first and pulling some charms. So I'm going to be doing that first. And we're going to be asking a few questions. Then we will get into your yes no questions. Okay. So remember, everybody is going to get one free yes no question. Make sure it's actually something that can be answered with a yes no. It can be anything, love, career, whatever you want, as long as it's not medical or legal. Okay. And then if you want to go deeper into the shadow of it, you want to ask more questions, that's where the tip comes in. Again, pinned in the chat. Okay. All right, so let's get into, well, I'm going to catch up in the chat and then we'll get into the charms. Hey, Yagi. It is. Thank you. Hi, Vass. I have house leak to drip into the nose. I have no idea what that means, Vass. Please elaborate. Okay. Ooh. We got a shell, a purple shell. Interesting. Oh, and we got a little picture frame with a bow on it. Interesting. The picture frame with a bow on it is my signal that it's a message from a passed on loved one, kind of like a memory. Okay. It's a picture frame with a little bow. So you may be remembering someone lately that's passed on, or maybe they're going to have a message that comes through for you today. As you know, it's not just Mediumship Monday. I get messages all the time, y'all. Okay. Excuse any background noise, guys. They're doing some work nearby in the neighborhood, and my fur babies do not like it. So we got our seashell here. So intuition, that ocean energy, feminine wisdom, emotional messages, and I did say a message from a passed on loved one. And then you know that color matters too. And we got purple here. So purple is most often associated with Scorpio and Pisces, okay? But also psychic gifts, spirituality, mystery, of course, the crown chakra as well, and transformation, okay? So I'm getting here that there's some sort of maybe an emotional message here from a passed on loved one. Yeah, it could be a little mysterious. Okay. So we'll see. We'll get into it. And when we do our yes no today, guys, I got some more cards. Last night I did the 3, but it's kind of harder to shuffle that way. So I just wanted to give you guys more clarity on your yes no questions. So it will still be yes no, with magic wand being my indicator to use the pendulum. Okay. So just so you know about that. And we've got our tarot deck and other decks for those who want to go deeper. Okay. So if you're just joining, feel free to say hey in the chat. Rules and info and links are pinned for you in the chat. It's Shadow Work Sunday, and we are doing some free yes no polls after I do this poll for the collective. All right. So, Spirit, what shadow is currently being activated around the collective's relationship with work, achievement, productivity, and self worth? Ooh, creative block. This makes sense. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, then let's see what is underneath that, Spirit. Oh, I mean, have to pull from a different deck for that. We'll go with this one since we're already using it. What's under that, Spirit? Oh, all right. And then for what's the way forward, we'll pull from our healing action. What's the way forward, Spirit? Oh, we got a few. Okay. So let's see here. So for the collective, we got the shadow is creative block. So maybe you were told that you were too much, too loud, too something, and now you're kind of playing small. Okay. So what would you create if you weren't afraid of being seen? This is almost word for word what I was just talking about. So this is awesome. All about who are you without the hustle, right? And then this came out. So thank you for the confirmation, spirit. So a good affirmation for this is my expression is divine and unapologetic. These terms over here. All right. So someone might be feeling that creative block. And then I asked, what is underneath it? And we got here the crescent moon. And I'm going to pin, I got to remind you guys about some astrological stuff coming up too. So it says, keep moving forward. You got this. Oh, love it. And then I asked, what is the way forward? Which is funny because it says, keep moving forward. I don't make this up, you guys. Move your body. Let it be messy. Okay, so here the message is healing won't look perfect. The breakthrough is in the breakdown sometimes. Okay, so maybe you've been spilling things lately or breaking things, or you just feel like you're kind of living in chaos. Things aren't working out right. Sometimes there's synchronicity in chaos. So the message is let it be messy. Sometimes life is messy. Okay, and pleasure is healing. So pleasure is healing, move your body. Yeah, so even if this is, I know when, as humans we say pleasure, we go to sex, sometimes food. But you know, and that's all relevant as well, don't get me wrong. But that you can find pleasure in a lot of things, you know, even if it's doing your morning stretch, practicing yoga, you know, whatever it is, eating a really good meal, you know, pleasure, take pleasure, take joy in things. So yeah, maybe you need to step out into the sunlight in the morning before you do anything else. Maybe you do need to start doing your stretches, you know, somehow move your body and do something that brings you some sort of joy. Okay. That's going to help you get rid of this creative block that you're in. All right. Somebody needed to hear it. Okay, so I said that I was pinning to remind y'all of this. So this is really beautiful timing actually, because we're heading towards the August 28th full moon in Pisces and partial lunar eclipse. And we did get this purple, which is Pisces as well. So it makes sense. So I'm going to be talking much more about it this coming week. We'll probably do a full live on it in the next couple of days or so. Okay. But the one thing I want you to start thinking about now as you prepare, because you know, the energy starts pulling us in sooner. Okay. So it's usually a couple of days before, a couple of days after. So what are you carrying that you don't actually want to take into the next cycle? So not just physical things, but maybe you are moving and that's a good time to sort through it as well. But also patterns, identities, beliefs, any old expectations that need to prove yourself, exhaust yourself. You know, those are things we want to be looking at right now and attempting to release. So at least identify them now. We're going to be talking about in the days to come how to release them. As I mentioned last night, I'm going to be doing a lot of release, cleansing, cord cutting, rituals, and spells for clients this week. So if you want to get in on that, definitely let me know. Sanctuary444.com. You can go ahead and book it. If you're not sure what you need or you have questions first, email me. That's fine. Some of you have, and thank you. You guys are all appreciated. All right. And then we'll be doing protection as well. So once we do the cleanse, the cord cutting thing, we want to do protection to keep you that way. And I help you guys along the way to keep that going. Okay. So let's get into your free yes no questions. So again, as a reminder, one free yes no question per person to keep it fair. You can ask about anything as long as it's not medical or legal. And make sure it can genuinely be answered with yes or no. And then if you want to go deeper, we will do that. And just let me know which platform you submitted the tip on, and we'll go deeper. All right, catching up in the chat. Hi, Bella. Yes, PP. Oh, walking the beach smoking. Yes. All right, taking a sip of my coffee. I don't see any questions in the queue yet, so you'll be first to ask whoever has their question. I can't believe y'all don't have a queue going yet. What is going on? That's a good question for Shadow Work Sunday, PP. All right, so let's write this down. PP. All right, so you guys will see how this works since we're using this deck to start off now. So PP is asking, will I get out of this rut? So will PP get out of this rut, Spirit? Sign. Oh, and you got a butterfly. It says, if you are looking for a sign, here it is. So take that as a yes, PP. If you're looking for a sign, here it is. Love it. Hi, Tim. Welcome. We're doing our free yes no polls now, and I just finished one. So the queue is open. If you've got a yes no question, as long as it's not medical or legal, shoot it in the chat. If you want to go deeper or ask more questions, you can do so with the tip. All the info is pinned there in the chat. It's also here on my card for y'all. You're welcome. And feel free to let us know where you're joining from, your zodiac sign, whatever you feel comfortable sharing. Okay, while we are waiting for any other questions, we're going to continue to pull from for the collective. What other shadows do we have here for the collective, Spirit? Oh, one came out right away. Fear of abandonment. Okay. What else, Spirit? Okay, we got a card. And then let's see what the action is the collective needs to take, Spirit. It fell on the floor. Okay, let's see. Ooh, love it. Okay. So the shadow that came out for y'all as a collective is also fear of abandonment. So maybe you learned to leave first so nobody else could leave you, but now you're wanting connection. Okay. So a good question to ask yourself when doing shadow work, if you're doing journaling, etc., when did you first feel disposable? Okay. Remember, we want to think back to like how old we feel or how old we remember being when we first felt this. And an affirmation for that is I am worthy of love that stays. And then I ask what else regarding this fear of abandonment? We got manifestation. What you seek is seeking you. Love it. And then tend to your inner child. That makes sense. This fear of abandonment came from someone's childhood. We need to tend to our inner children, so to speak. So those are the collective messages, y'all. Okay, catching up on the chat. Aries, oh, fellow fire sign. England, nice. How goes it in England? If you're just joining, feel free to say, hey, we're doing our free yes no polls. The card just fell out. So we're going to talk about it. And the queue is open. I just finished the queue. So if you have a question, you'll be first in line. Okay, collective. So this one fell out as well. So we're going to go with it. Codependent craving. Oh, this is a good one. So you're mistaking intensity for intimacy, and there's a difference. So ask yourself, what need are you asking someone else to fill for you? And an affirmation for this is I give myself the love I once begged for. I love it. Hey, Kaja. Welcome back. Happy Sunday. We're doing our free yes no polls for Shadow Work Sunday. I'm sorry to hear that, Tim. Keep farming, like literal farming on a farm, or you just mean keep pushing? Okay, let's see what healing action is going to go with this codependent craving, y'all. It feels later than it is. Probably because I'm used to doing this in the evening, but I mean, Sundays I usually do it earlier, but the rest of the week I tend to do this in the evening, so maybe that's why. Oh, I got a few fall out here. Okay. Protect your energy. Not everyone deserves access to your light. Pull it back, reset. This makes sense. I was just talking about doing all the protection work this week. So, yeah, if you're feeling that sudden fatigue, drained vibe, maybe even people falling away, Make sure you're protecting your energy. Yeah, like we got release stored emotion. I was just saying before this eclipse coming in, we want to release things and breathe deeply. Yeah. Nourish your gut. So someone needs to take care of their gut. You guys would be surprised. Those of you who've been following me for a while, I'm also a doctor of natural medicine, so very into holistic healing, etc. And your gut controls so much of your, or affects, I should say, so much of your health. Like if your gut is not right, yeah, nourish your gut, y'all, and sleep on it. So this might be a decision you need to sleep on, but it also could be that you need more sleep. Okay. Catch up with the chats. Oh, cool, Tim. Literally farming. What do you farm, if you don't mind sharing? I know farmers in the United States are kind of going through it right now. I don't know about out your way. Yes, Kaja. Exactly. And that's partially too where that comes from, the follow your gut. Of course, we mean, your intuition and everything and that feeling you get, but also because your gut, even little kids when they're little and they can't exactly communicate everything they're feeling, a lot of times when they don't feel good, they'll just point to their stomach because it's like the largest area, on our body. And so yeah, I just, but the different things that we have going on in that area are flora there, just so many of it, so many things with the gut. If you have a leaky gut, if, yeah, intestinal issues, IBS, like all of that. Yes, exactly, Kaja. That's what they say. Oh, sheep. Interesting, because someone came in earlier, which I know they meant something else by it, but they put little sheep emojis in the chat, and oh, very interesting. I'm sorry to hear that. I've, I've seen sheep live, but I've never been on a sheep farm. That's interesting. Do you also have the dogs that kind of herd the sheep? And I'm trying to picture it. Yes, Kaja, we're gonna get you right. Remember, the queue is open. If you guys have any yes no questions, everyone gets one free yes no. And then if you want to go deeper or you have additional questions, then you can submit the tip, let me know on which platform you did, and we'll go deeper with it. And if you didn't know, apart from the other services and things I do, you can also have G Witch on retainer, y'all. No, for spiritual life coaching, or, as a spiritual advisor, whatever label you would like to give it. And I offer that in blocks or also weekly or one-time sessions. So again, you can find that on my site, sanctuary444.com. All right, let's see what tarot has to say for the collective about all of this. I'm gonna do one for each shadow that came out. We got creative block, fear of abandonment, and codependent craving. So let's do 3 pulls for the collective, see what else comes out. Creative block spirit. Oh, okay, 1 pull, but 2 cards came out. Oh, interesting. All right, let me get the others and then we'll get into it. Fear of abandonment spirit. Okay. Codependent cravings. And another 2. Ooh, love it. Okay. All right. So for the creative block, we got here the Knight of Pentacles. And you see he's kind of leaving behind a trail of pentacles. And pentacles is earth energy. There's a horse here. You know, horses have been coming up, and I know there's a lot in the media right now with the wild horse thing too, which is terrible. And I'm all about protecting the animals. But it's funny. I saw this morning this video on my feed, and it was about wild horses in an area and how they were increasing and they weren't sure how, and then it was caught. And I don't remember if they installed it intentionally or it was just, caught on camera, but one of those hunting cameras, they saw that a wolf pup was nursing from one of the mother horses, and they were kind of stunned by this. And then the wolf pup, got older, and it was protecting the herd of horses. And that's how they were able to kind of survive longer in the area and reproduce. So I was like, oh, and I love wolves. That's one of my spirit animals. So I was like, and I mean, I love all animals, but I was just like, oh, and then I started seeing on threads all of this stuff about, the horses, and I don't remember all of the details, but I know there's something going on with, protecting the wild horses. So, and then we have a horse here. So today is a horse theme, apparently. Okay, so yeah, Knight of Pentacles here, and then also the Two of Swords. So this makes sense because it's like a duality decision, and here she's got a tattoo on her arm that kind of looks like scales. Okay, so this one is about like balance, duality, choices. So maybe even leaving something behind. Okay, releasing something for this creative block. This makes sense. And here she's blindfolded, and the crows are kind of pulling strings that are tied to her. Yeah. So remember, the creative block was about you feeling too much or kind of playing small. So this makes sense here. Then for the fear of abandonment, we got temperance. And this is also duality and balance. Look, he has one here that's dark and one here that's light, and he has angel wings. And temperance is a Saggy card as well. And this one is 14, which is 5. So all about change, um, transformation. This makes sense. So that fear of abandonment. So you see here we have, and then the infinity symbol as well. I'm getting something. Bear with me. Yeah, this fear has to do with a change coming in. And then for the codependent craving, we got the magician, which is 1. So 1 is about the self. And look, we got another infinity symbol on the hoodie here, and here they are practicing magic. And what do we have here? And look, some sacred geometry. And this is the 10 of Pentacles. So more earth energy, more Pentacles energy. And the 10 is completion. You see here they're happy and this is codependent craving. So remember that. They're happy here. There's children around playing. There's a dog. It looks like maybe they're partners, or maybe it's just a community gathering. But this makes sense because of the codependent craving. So you're really trying to call this in, like you're really craving this partnership or this community or family. Okay, so this is something you're really trying to call in. This makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna catch up in the chat. Sure, Kasha. All right, let's ask the cards. Is it true? My sacred well is taken. Okay, we're gonna ask cards here. So Kaja wants to know, is it true that her sacred well was stolen energetically, Spirit? No, Kaja. It also says sleep on it, which we we got sleep on it. So you may need some sleep. That's come out twice. But it's also an answer to your question, no. Hi, Sarah. So my ex gonna reach out. Okay. Sarah has a question as well. All right, let's ask the deck. Will Sarah's ex reach out to me? All right, so we got new moon, fresh start, new beginnings. So I would take that. I want to say take it as a no, but also take it as it doesn't matter because you need a fresh start, a new beginning. So Spirit doesn't want you looking back. So regardless if they reach out or not, that's a sign for a fresh start. I think I'm hearing thunder, guys. It was just like hot. So it's, you're welcome, Sarah. It's not a secret, Kaja. I am a Sagittarius. And you're welcome. Yes, you can, PJ. We're doing yes, no. As long as it's not legal or medical, and you can frame it as a yes, no. If you want to ask a different type of question or go deeper, then you can submit the tip and we'll do that. All right. PJ. Does Richard have feelings for you? Okay. All right, PJ, let's ask the cards. Does Richard have feelings for PJ? Ooh, right away fell out. Oh, you got Isis, PJ. Cast spells, protect, heal. So this is also one, you need to protect your energy. Two, you might need some sort of spell work, okay? But you definitely need some healing here. So I would take this also as spirit wanting you to move on from this connection. Yeah. Isis, cast spells, protect, heal. So it doesn't sound like that person's for your highest good. You're welcome, PJ. Oh, really, Kaja? That's interesting. Yes, I'm a in the Western anyway. Sagittarius Sun, Virgo Moon, Scorpio Rising. What a chart, huh? Yeah, there are a lot of Saggies in the helping industries, in helping fields. What do they call that? There's a word escaping me. Yeah, it's always been talking about the hustle mentality. It's all with my Virgo moon. Like that's always been kind of like this inner battle for me because Saggies are all about, freedom and oh, my diffuser just went off. Freedom and all of that. And Virgos are all about, and earth signs in general, productivity and work and all of that. So it's always been this kind of inner conflict going on. And then the Scorpio rising, Scorpios also are kind of known for that. They're a little more of the mix, but having those three on my chart, and then of course much more in my chart, but those three main ones, it's definitely been like a. But I would say now the Saggy side, I've always been very, very Sagittarius, but I would say that I've allowed that one to kind of rule more than that Virgo, because I used to be very much like, oh, organized and da, 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 very. So. Yes, yes, that's funny, Kaja. And I've always had that kind of teaching thing with me. Even as a little girl, I would pretend my sister and I would play like we were. She was my student and I was her teacher. And then I did go into teaching roles for several years, where I taught at different levels. So that's funny. Hi, Love Dove. Really, Kaja? That's funny. Oh, you just reminded me, Love Dove, my Nana, my grandmother, who I absolutely adored, who passed many years ago. She had this dove and she named it Lovey Dove. We had it as a pet. Thank you, PJ. I appreciate it. Did you want to go deeper about Richard, PJ? Merle Graces. Okay, Love Dove. 'Merle Grace. 'Merle Grace. Okay, love dove, 'Merle Grace. 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 'Mer So, Love Dove, when I asked this one, the way you framed it wasn't quite a yes no. But because of the way this deck is, we can still do it. I'll say, does Merle Grace still have, romantic feelings that way? Okay, PJ, go for it. Oh, yeah, I do recognize your handle. I don't remember which live stream that was, though. But yeah, let me know your question and we'll do that, PJ. Oh, I just got it. Oh, that's crazy, PJ. Oh, like a month ago. Okay. Yeah, let's see what comes out. Which deck do we want to use? Let's do tarot. Maybe the love deck. How does PJ need to know spirit? I think I do remember, PJ. I was saying there was something you weren't seeing, but I don't remember exactly what came out. Let's see. Oh yeah. So Ace of Cups. Ace is all about kind of new beginnings, heart healing. Yeah. So this really hurt you. And then we got the Nine of Wands. Nines is all about release. And you see she's kind of looking the other direction, holding her wands. And wands is fire energy. And you see her wand here is lit. And the others are kind of almost like a fence here. Yeah. So you've kind of maybe put a bit of a wall up after this lie, and you've been trying to heal from it. This makes sense. Um, let's pull for another deck. Is there anything else that PJ needs to know? Spirit. Oh, Richard. Vision. Get clear on what you want. Yeah, this makes sense because the both of these cards here that came out in the tarot deck also, like I said, Ace is all about kind of self, new beginnings. Yeah, so getting clear on what you really want. This is also protection. So Spirit wants you to remember that you're protected, PJ. But it's also kind of like you're healing, and you do need to focus on yourself and healing from this and getting clear on what you want and what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept, right? Let's pull from the love deck for you too. PJs, right? You'll be getting a message soon. Falling in love. Yeah. I think this is kind of that moving on energy here, PJ. And that is at least in my book, a major thing to lie about. I don't know why someone would hide their children. I want to ask, is there anything else Richard's hiding, Spirit? Oh, look, true north. Stay true to yourself. Yeah. There's more to this story, PJ. And Spirit saying focus on yourself here. Mm-hmm. Let's see what else comes out from this deck. That's right. You know darkness, you know sadness. Do you know the light? Do you know joy? Then what makes you the expert? Believe. Yeah, I'm picking up here that you're for some reason fearful to let go of this connection. And there's no reason for you to be fearful. You need to believe, okay? Believe that love can find you again. A healthy love, a love that's not going to lie to you. Hi, Latifa. That makes sense, PJ. I'm sure you will find it again, PJ. You know what probably happened why you're having trouble finding it is because I didn't know that. Y'all, I'm not like the greatest. I'm just gonna, I always keep it with you guys. They're like editing and all of that stuff. Okay. So, and I really hadn't done a lot of lives until more recently. And I decided to kind of get into the lives more. And so I was kind of wanting to crop out the beginning where I'm just like, hey, and getting situated so that those watching the replay would have more of, video like experience. And it was cutting out the live chat like replay. So now I'm not doing that because I like the live chat replay on there. So once I discovered that, I stopped doing that. So now I just leave the video kind of as is. So there's no editing on the lives anymore. But my point being is that might be why you're having trouble finding it, is because you won't see that live chat replay, unfortunately. So you actually have to probably listen for me saying PJ. Oh, my candle just went out. If that makes sense. Yes, Latifa, I will add you to the queue. We've got one more ahead of you. Nicholas wants to be with you, or is it like I can ask if he wants to be with you? Yes, since it's a yes, no. Unless you want to submit a tip, Latifa, and then we can go deeper into the ex-wife scenario. Hi, Jams. If you want to form that into a yes, no question, Jam. Maybe is he thinking about you? We can ask that one. Let me know. Otherwise, if you want to do that full question, it's pinned there in the chat. You guys can submit on Ko-fi or Cash App, and we can do the multiple question or deeper question. Okay, so we have Love Dove that's next. We finished PJ. So Love Dove's next, and then I think Latifa. Yep, Latifa Nicholas want to be with you? Okay. And Jams. Hey Dylan, welcome back. Jams will do is your ex thinking about you. So Latifa and Jams, I'm taking part of it, the yes no part of your question. If you do tip, let me know on which platform, and then I'll ask the full question. Okay, so Love Dove. Does Merle Grace have feelings for you? Let's see. We'll ask the deck. All right, Love Dove. Does Merle Grace have feelings for you? Oh, let's put our true no facts. That's part of it. Magic wands. We gotta ask the pendulum. All right. Does Merle Grace have feelings for Love Dove spirit? Ooh, right away, yes. Yes, Love Dove. Merle Grace still has feelings for you. Let me know if you want to go deeper. All right. Next is Latifa. Does Nicholas want to be with you? Happy Sunday, Dylan. Okay. Does Nicholas want to be with Latifa? Spirit? Yes. It actually said yes, just go for it. But yes, Latifa, Nicholas wants to be with you. Let me know if you want to go deeper on the ex-wife stuff. Okay, and then Jams, you want to know if your ex is still thinking about you. Is Jams' ex still thinking about them, spirit? Ooh. Wow, okay, half the deck fell out. So we're gonna reshuffle here, Jams. Ooh, and now one just flew out. Sign. If you've been looking for a sign, here it is with the butterfly. That's for you, Jams. So take that as a yes. Your ex is still thinking about you. Let me know if you want to go deeper. And thank you again to those of you who have donated, booked services. Some of you are in here in the live chat. I appreciate you very much. And to my regulars, got you, Dylan. Kaja, both Ko-Fi and Cash App. So if you don't like Cash App, you can do the Ko-Fi that's linked there too. And that one's kind of like the buy me a coffee, and each coffee is $5. I've been thinking about setting up a PayPal for Jewish, but I have not done that yet. On my site, though, it accepts PayPal. And Ko-Fi accepts you can pay with your PayPal. I'm not sure about Cash App, but I know Ko-Fi you can pay with your PayPal. It just goes to my Ko-Fi. Okay, Dylan, let's see here. Will Daytona be fun? Wow, it's already next weekend, Daytona. Okay, Dylan, let's see here. Will Daytona be fun for Dylan and his friend next weekend? Oh, it says no, sleep on it. What? What is going on? This could, sleep on it's coming out a lot. We got this before you came on, Dylan. Sleep on it. You may need some sleep, or it might be a decision. Um, Maybe this isn't the person you really wanted to go with. Let me know if you want to go deeper. Oh, UK. You should be able to Ko-Fi. I know. I want to say it was like India or somewhere. I had a client too that was unable to do Cash App, but they were able to do Ko-Fi. And worst case for anyone, I should start pinning this too. For anyone who can't do Ko-Fi or Cash App, I do have an energetic exchange on my website, sanctuary444.com. And that one, it starts at, I think, $2.22 US dollars. And you can donate any amount that you want to the sanctuary. So there's that too. But I didn't have that pinned just because characters are limited. But that's an option too for anyone who would like to do it that way. And if you guys do tip, let me know on which platform. And we'll go to. That's crazy, Kaj. I didn't know that. That's good to know though. That maybe I will start pinning the website. Yeah, there's it's under the free resources. It just says energy exchange, and you can donate any amount over $2.22. Anything that you want. Um, I will start pinning that then because I do get a lot of people on my channel from the UK. So that's good to know. And I'll have to look at the PayPal thing too. I know PayPal is great in a lot of ways. I just haven't set one up for GWitch specifically. So I'll have to look into that too. Once I monetize, it'll be much easier for you guys to just click the button to do like the super chat and whatever else it's called. We're very close to 1,000 subscribers, y'all. Very, very close. And watch hours are going up. So hopefully soon your girl will be monetized and this won't even be an issue. But in the meantime, yes. Okay, thank you, Dylan. I just saw that, Dylan. All right, let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna pull from this deck and then yeah, this deck and then tarot. Let's see what's going on here for Dylan's spirit. I think there's a plane going over and I was just hearing thunder. The sky is loud today, y'all. The sky is loud. So excuse any background. I don't even know if you guys can hear that, but ooh, half the deck fell. Okay, I don't know. Let's reshuffle it, Dylan. There's a lot here. Transformation. Shed, let go, make room for greatness. Okay, let's see what tarot says, Dylan. Huh. Let go, make room for greatness. What is this for Dylan Spirit? Why did we get a no? Oh, you got this one the other night too, Dylan. So this is a reminder from Spirit that you're protected. Four of Swords. And there's a little heart here. Yeah, I'm kind of getting like your heart's not in it or something. Let me see what comes out from one of my decks. I'm hearing disappointment. Yeah, I don't know if this could be like a cancellation or if it's just the person you're going with. Let's see what comes out. Oh, that's the that was our affirmation deck, not the one I wanted to pick. We'll get into that one. What else? For Dylan Spirit. Hmm. Success comes in many forms. What does it look like to you? Okay, so maybe asking yourself, Dylan, what would be fun? Just going, the person you're going with, the outcome. So maybe what outcome are you looking for here? What would make it fun? Okay, I see where Spirit's going with this. Let's see what else for Dylan Spirit. Leap. Oh, they can't keep up with you. Key, can you hear us? Someone is having a boy. Oh. Dylan, doesn't that girl you like have a son? Anywho. Um, so something here, Spirit's saying take the leap on, but then also they can't keep up with you. So maybe the person that you're going with doesn't have the same energy as you or something. And then can you hear us? So you might be receiving messages lately, signs, and someone in your life's having a boy. I'm catching up on the chat now. Oh, rain. Okay. It could be a weather thing. Oh, see, yep. I said something, maybe a cancellation. You already bought the tickets. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense, Dylan. Yeah, I was saying it might be a cancellation or something. So it might not mean that the event itself won't be fun, but maybe it's not gonna happen, or maybe the weather, or maybe just because your friend canceled on you. Yeah. Royal came out. Frog. Ah, we got Leap and Frog. That's funny. Oh, Joker came out. You may be feeling like a fool about something. Otherwise, this could be, I mean, you're saying you're just looking to have a good time, maybe laughs and, good food, good drinks, good company type thing. Will Dylan still go to the event, Spirit? Card turned over, but it hasn't fallen out yet. Let's see. Yeah, I keep seeing Magic Wand. Let's ask the pendulum a couple of things. Let's see. Will Dylan still go to Daytona next weekend, Spirit? Okay, yes. So it looks like you're still gonna go. Is this a weather thing, Spirit? Yes. Okay. Strong yes. Because of the weather. Okay. Well, that's good. At least it's not anything. And yeah, that makes sense that your friend canceled and you were kind of, that disappointment energy I was picking up on. That makes sense, Dylan. Will Dylan still be able to make the best of the event, Spirit? Yes. Okay. So you're still going to be able to make the best of it. And it kept hitting on Thursdays. So maybe you're going to find something out on Thursday, Dylan. Oh, yeah, because you need someone else now, huh? Hi, Raj. Hi, Nam. Got you guys. Yeah, Dylan, I'll ask if you'll still take her. Let's see. Will Dylan take the girl that he's thinking about to date him? Oh, it's a little shaky. It's pointing towards yes, though, Dylan. Maybe that is the frog leap that you need to take. I think that came out before in your reading that you should ask her, but you had already asked your friend. And then we did get to someone having a boy, and for some reason I thought of her. Whether, you know, what can it hurt to ask? I mean, if nothing else, you'll have information, right? Okay, let's see. Raj looking for a. What is your yes no question, Raj? I saw the succubus comment, but I'm confused. Okay, Nam. Did Sona know about G and Nam's relationship? Okay. Sona, no. G's and Nam's relationship. Okay. Oh, there you go, John. That makes sense. Yeah, it could be that she already has the boy because as soon as that came out, I thought about her, Dylan. So it might not be literally that she's having a boy, but an indicator that it was about her. Okay, Sonia, did Sona know about G's and Nam's relationship? Let's see what the cards say. Did Sona know about G's and Nam's relationship, Spirit? Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so we got True North and Kate. So stay true to yourself. Change is important. Release the past. So Spirit's not wanting you to focus on this, Nam. Wanting you to release it. Let me know if you want to go deeper. Spirit's wanting you to release the past. And saying focus on yourself, True North, this might mean that this is not a healthy connection as well. So whether that's a yes or no, but moving on from the connection in general. And that's another possibility, Dylan. She could be, but oh, that is interesting, Dylan. Oh, okay, now that makes sense. Yeah, let me know if you want to go deeper now. If not, then we are gonna go to affirmations and close out because we've been up here an hour and a half, y'all. Your girl's getting hungry. All right, so we'll close off the free yes no questions. And if anyone wants to go deeper with a tip, let me know. Yeah, I'll ask Dylan. Is the girl Dylan's talking to pregnant spirit? No, it went to no, Dylan. Doesn't look like she's pregnant. Yeah, I think it was just indicating to me it was so that I would realize it was about her, I think. Yeah, I think that that was the disappointment energy I was picking up on. The fact that you maybe originally wanted to ask her and then your friend canceled and the weather. So that makes sense. You guys, let's see what affirmations Spirit's got for us today. Affirmations, Spirit. And remember, guys, you can get affirmations. I've got a whole playlist of affirmations. They are shorts, all under 3 minutes. Morning affirmations, evening affirmations, protection, money. So check those out. Tomorrow is Mediumship Monday. So don't forget, we're going to see what spirits come through for us tomorrow and answer those types of questions for you on the live. So make sure that you're subscribed and your notifications are on so you get all of those when I go live because I haven't been scheduling lately. I've just been popping on. And remember, if today's live resonated with you, hit the like button before you go. And if you want to keep working with anything that came up today, definitely check out my shadow work resources. Check out my site, sanctuary444.com. And again, you can also email me. My email is on my YouTube bio. And keep watching this week because we're going to be heading into the full moon and partial lunar eclipse. So we're going to be talking about that in the days to come as well. Okay, guys. So the Spirit wants you to know, remember, and start affirming my body is beautiful. I am growing. I am open to blessings and I release fear. I think I got wax on that one. Again, my body is beautiful. I am growing. I am open to blessings. I release fear. Affirm it with me, guys. Okay. And thank you to everyone who joined. Special thanks to my regulars who join me daily or almost daily for several of you. And thank you so much. Special shout out to those of you who tipped, donated, booked services, and even your likes, subscribes, comments, views. All of it is deeply appreciated and keeps the sanctuary going. Y'all, as I said, your girl is not monetized yet. So we're getting very close to 1,000 subscribers. Share if you feel called. You can also follow me on Threads. Everything you need is in my bio. All the links are there, guys. Okay. All right. So until next time, I will see y'all tomorrow for Mediumship Monday. Sending you light, love, and healing. And I hope this helped. Thank you.